Hello and welcome to this video on the F-86E from PM Models, a Turkish manufacturer, and we are building a Turkish F-86E in the colours of the white swans or flying swans, depending on where you get your translation. The box does say white swans though, and from what I could work out, the pronunciation is Uçan Kuğular. That's the best I could do. I haven't offended anyone there. Now, we'll talk about the kit first of all. So the kit is very, very bare bones. It reminds me of sort of Novo, Frog, early Matchbox sort of vibes. There's really no parts to put together. As you can see here, like, it's literally fuselage, wings which aren't even in separate parts, tail section, the landing gear which is extremely basic because it's just the struts, wheels, and same on the front, and then just one part for the actual wheel covering, and on the front bit there are two parts, but that's it. Oh, and there is the front nose section, I guess, but that's it for this kit. This kit is remarkably simple. I don't think I've built anything this simple. I don't know if I ever have built anything this simple, except for when I did a PM kit when I was a child, really. Now, let's talk about this kit. Now, as I said, it's in the colour of the flying swans, or the white swans. Again, translation seems to vary as to whether it's white swans or flying swans, because the box definitely says white swans, but everything online says flying swans. This is not the first Turkish display team that I could see. This was in 1955. I think there have been ones prior to that I could see, which I think was, we'll just double check, but I think it was called Millie was the one that I could see. That was in 1952. I think that was the first one. So why this team, I'm not sure. They did seem to fly for quite a while. They flew for 10 years, so it's not an insignificant amount of time. They never flew outside of Turkey, but they did have quite a striking scheme, I think. I think it's a really pretty scheme, actually, for an aircraft to have. So yeah, it's a nice thing that it exists. I bought it because I was at my local model shop, as I said before in a previous video. It's more of a train shop, to be honest, but they've got a few model kits. I like to try and support a local independent business when I can, and they have a load of PM kits. And I saw it and I was like, you know what? I've never built this team. I don't think I've ever even built an F-86 before. I know PM models get kind of dragged through the mud for the simplicity of their kits, and everyone says they're garbage and they're not worth doing, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it, because why the devil not? It was $6.99 it cost me. I'm sure you can probably get it for that price, if not cheaper. Again, I got it from a local independent retailer, so they are normally slightly more expensive than a larger retailer. But yeah, it's not a bad kit, to be honest, in my opinion. Is there a lot of detail for a rivet counter? No. Rivet counters, beware, you will hate this kit. Does everything fit properly? Also, no. The wings had massive gaps, and as you can see, I've already put Plasto on there, the sort of Revell modelling putty, and I had to sand it down, and as you can see there, it looked okay in the end. But I wouldn't recommend this kit for anyone who's, you know, a stickler for historical accuracy, wants to build the most accurate kit they ever can, or I guess really even wants to enter a model show with it. You could probably use the decals on another model kit, but I've not tested that because I built the kit as is. This kit is fantastic if you want a quick project though. You could do this in a day after work, or I guess if you were young enough, unlike me, to be in school, then you could probably do it after school. But let's talk a bit more about the team itself. So the footage you're seeing here is from a channel called Bahriye, or Bahri. I don't really know how to say it. It's the only footage I could find of this play team anywhere, which is kind of remarkable. This team existed from 1955 to 1965. They never performed outside of Turkey, but they flew up into a 12-shift formation at times, all in F-86s. They have this remarkable colour scheme, and I genuinely think they look gorgeous. I did try and research them, and even on the Turkish Stars website, they did reference them, so I'm assuming there's some sort of lineage there. They're not the first display team that I could see. I think I mentioned earlier that was Millie. So I guess the only people who are going to have any sort of memory of this team, or the people who are crying out for a model kit of this team, are going to be the people in Turkey. They never performed outside of Turkey, so it makes sense for a Turkish manufacturer to be so aware of this team and think it warrants having its own production kit of it. And I'm grateful for that. It's made me learn about another display team that I never would have known about otherwise. Now let's get on to that display scheme for the display team, because I've got some words. As you can tell from the layout of this video, I stream these builds over on Twitch as Ms. Modeler. Link in the description and in the top comment if you want to know. And I was shook by this model kit. And I don't mean like when I've said in other videos like, oh my god, I'm really surprised by this. These decals had no business being as good as they are, honey. It's like, they were so good. Like, they had cutouts for the bits that were sticking out. They fit really well. They had enough reach on them and pliability that you could like line up the red on the front of the model. The only bits that were bad were the tail section, but I think that's because they gave you extra rather than not enough. I was honestly absolutely gobsmacked by how good these are, and I've used really reputable kit manufacturers before who, when they've had white decals or transfers, they have been the absolute worst thing in existence. I'm not referencing any kits in particular, Uga Magister, but some decals have been less than satisfactory. These, however, are incredible, and yeah, like, I was absolutely shocked. The entire stream, I was just going, these have no business being these good. Like, this kit was $6.99. The actual model kit itself is, it's not great, but the decals are incredible. And I was really surprised. Unfortunately, I've noticed that once I varnished it, so you spray varnish, there was one of these lines, not on this side, but on the other side of the model, that did get sort of unfortunately moved. I didn't realise when it was glossed, but you know, it's a minor inconvenience, I guess, for me. Overall, I was more than satisfied with how this kit ended up looking. Like, if you could see my face, because obviously with how I do these streams, I cover where my face cam was whilst I was building it, but I was overjoyed by it. In terms of how I did these, I sort of cut them out, and I used scissors to cut these out because it's very, very hard to see where each decal ends, because these are white decals on white paper. However, they are already cut out, so it's not like some other, so I know they won't mind saying, but Decals decals, who have done Saudi Hawks, Midnight Hawks, Asas Portugal, you have to cut out the entire decal itself. Anything you don't cut out is left as a transparent bit. These ones aren't like that, so these are already cut out. They'll just give you the actual coloured section itself, a tiny little bit of clear around it. However, on the actual white backing paper of it, it's so hard to see where the decals end, and I was so worried about cutting out white bits at times. That is something to, I guess, watch out for when you are doing this kit. Now you can see as well on the bottom there is a hole, because originally I was going to do this kit in a flying stance. It comes with a included stand, which a lot of kits used to do, and as we've seen from the best of British Airfix kit that I did, I wish more manufacturers did include stands that you could easily attach or remove, because I think it can add a lot to a model to have it in a flying pose. However, once I applied this decal on the bottom, this massive white and red stripe that looks glorious, I decided, actually no, I like how this kit looks, so I'm going to do this as a normal, you know, model aircraft that's landed, which is completely unlike me. I normally I'll just make a decision and go with it, and I'll do everything I can just to make sure that vision comes to life. But I was really impressed by how beautiful this model turned out, and I will say it, I think it looks beautiful. It is a really low quality model kit for the model itself, but the decals are really, really good. I'm genuinely in shock, and I know I've said that a billion times, but these are remarkable. If I ever have the time to go back and remake this and buy a different F-86 to put them on, I 100% will. At the same time, however, I don't even think the finished model even looks that bad. Yes, it doesn't really have any panel lines. Yes, it doesn't have a lot to it. But the vibrancy of the decals take you away from any of that. Like, when I'm looking at this model, I don't look at the detail. I look at the... I nearly said, like, a bad word there. I look at the absolutely incredible paint scheme. Like, just tell me that doesn't look eye-catching, even on a red background. I don't even have the words for it. So we're at the end of the video now. Let's have a look at the pictures of the model kit itself after I'd attached the landing gear and put the cockpit glass on. And I think you'll agree, it's great. If you've liked what you've seen here, please drop me a subscribe. It really does help out the channel. I release new videos weekly for model kits. Even rumours that I'm doing a tank soon. In terms of Twitch, you can find me as Miss Modeler over on Twitch. And yeah, you can watch me build these live. Do also play some games on there such as War Thunder, Flight Simulator, and occasionally just other things as well. And we do community stuff. Oh, and Discord in the link below. See you later, guys. Love you. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed what you saw here today to see more content as it comes. You can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/missmodeler to watch me play these games live and chat with me. See you later. Bye!